This is it.
This is it.
This is the beginning of our podcast,
Artnight podcast
Artnight podcast.
with a few guests that are coming on. Johnny Potatoes is one of our first guests. Johnny Potatoes has a background here in the downtown Los Angeles area. He's well known for his murals in Los Angeles.
Oh,
Also,
potato murals.
potato murals, which are getting a nice jump off in the city. People are gravitating towards these potatoes.
Great potato merch.
Potato merch. So that's one of our first guests. Who else do we
Perfect.
have?
So I guess what are we gonna do here? So we're gonna talk to some artists.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about DTLA Art Night scene. Some local businesses that support us.
Yeah.
Some initiatives downtown, and maybe have some drinks.
That'd be great. So who's our guest cocktail server tonight?
So we're gonna have a guest cocktail server here every once in a while. It's from the
Is it our Wolves host? Are they hosting tonight?
Yep, they're gonna host and they're gonna serve us some drinks featuring illegal mezcal.
Ooh, nice. Okay. I can only sip. I'm not a big mezcal or tequila drinker, but I'm definitely gonna sip one.
All right,
I'll sip on one.
I'll enjoy a couple.
And then we also have Monsieur in the back. He's also going to sip with us. That's a thumbs up. That's a yes. But you're a mezcal drinker, right?
I'm a mezcal drinker. Yes,
You are a mezcal drinker. It takes a lot. Is it just a lot of practice?
Okay, I'm
or-
gonna actually give you my history on mezcal because I am very well knowledge on it.
Oh, geez. Okay,
So-
this is important.
Okay, this is a very important. I do believe. Okay, so it's an art night podcast, but mezcal is an art.
Okay.
I think spirits are an art, which is why I was trying to incorporate them. Obviously there's the mixology part of it, but the actual growth of the spirit and the plant is really interesting. Mezcal comes from a variety of 200 agave plants.
Oh, wow.
So tequila is one of them. The rest of them there's 200 varieties all across. There's 10 states in Mexico that are acknowledged for growing mezcal, but you can probably find it elsewhere. It's just not acknowledged as it. And it is roasted
Roasted, okay.
versus steamed, which is where it gives its more like robust flavor.
Okay.
The youngest mezcal takes 15 years to grow.
This is great news.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know any of this. Now, I do have a question with mezcal. Now, is it only the agave which makes the mezcal, correct?
Sure.
Is that only available in certain parts of the world?
So it's to be recognized, just kind of like a Kentucky bourbon, right?
Right.
To be recognized as a mezcal, there's 10 states in Mexico that
Okay.
grow it. Now, can you find some of these elsewhere? And these techniques elsewhere? Yes.
Okay.
But those are the ones that are recognized as official mezcal. And then you get other variations of like sotol and raíces, which are kind of it, but not it.
To keep it on that tier, it has to be from Mexico, one of those 10s,
Yes.
right? Okay. The
Yeah.
10 cities, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. Listen, that
So you just
tells
haven't found the right one.
I haven't. I don't know. What do you recommend?
There's quite a few really great brands out there.
What's your go-to?
There's a brand that I really love. It's called Hologoria, and it just started coming out here. And it's from Oaxaca. The majority of them do come from Oaxaca.
Okay.
And there's, like I said, there's different plants, right? There's different types of plants. The espadín being the youngest. But there's a plant called the tobola, and I like that one because it's a little bit more like minerally. And they have one that I really, really enjoy. It's a really cool bottle too. Really cool art on that one. It's like a white label, and it has like very like almost like if you imagine like cave wall drawing kind of art on it.
It's not that almost ceramic bottle, is it?
No, it's a clear bottle.
Do you know that bottle I'm talking about that has like the hand painted? There's a blue detail on the. It looks ceramic. It looks old.
Like the triangular one?
Yeah, it has a little spout at the top. And
Oh,
it's
the
hand
Casa
painted.
Azul.
That's it.
Yeah. No,
How
it's
is
not
that? Do you like that? Is that
I do like that one. It's a decent tequila. I haven't really tried their mezcal.
Yeah, so it's funny, but thanks for that history
No, you
lesson.
know.
Because listen, you're really well versed. I mean, that's quite a bit of history that most people don't know. I mean, there's a bit that if you don't know, you just order anything, you just feel like it's
And then
great.
you're like, wow, it's smoky. I hate it.
Right.
And then,
But to know that is important.
yeah,
I'm taking notes.
great. So upcoming Art Night,
Artnight.
you know, Art Night is first Thursday every month.
Yep.
We started it about a year ago. Happening in DTLA did, and now we have DTLA Art Night. And, it's about, I've been saying, I think we do have a motto out there, and I probably should know it, but I say it's about culture, community, and creativity, and highlighting that in the downtown area.
I agree. Now, what's the Emerging Gallery? Can you give me the history of the Emerging Gallery?
Sure. So we're about to come up on the 1-year anniversary of Art Night.
Okay.
I started about 2 months after. So there's some details that I don't, obviously I know, but I don't know. But the Emerging Gallery is a really cool gallery in which it's a collective space in which we have submissions for artists. I review the submissions. It varies between 20 to 25 artists, kind of depending on the amount per artist that submits. But you get a really nice collective of artists. It's their first show that they're in it. Sometimes it's their first show. Sometimes it's artists that are like been around in the game for a while and they're just kind of looking to show downtown.
Right.
And then we open up the space on Art Night. It is open every day, Monday through Friday. But we open up the space on Art Night, have a big party, and it's really fun because, the people that it's their first show for, they bring their whole fucking family. They bring their aunts and their grandmas and their neighbors and their, whatever. And then they can really learn from this other artist that has this wild technique that they probably aren't versed in yet,
Right.
So it's a fun, cool collective of people.
So with that, I'm curious, what's the square footage of that space? Because you have 25 artists. Is it just revolving? Is it 25
It's
new
revolving.
artists
So
every month?
25. We get about a few repeats. So there's about 3 people that are consistent repeats.
Okay.
Carlos and Joanne and lately Jelena. But every month we get repeat artists from the previous month. And then it's all new people. So I get about 80 pieces, 65 to 80 pieces every month, which I personally hang with a small team.
Wow. Impressive.
And, we receive all the art and then we just kind of take a look at it and see what's the overlying theme of it.
Okay.
Put those on our main wall and then kind of curate around that.
That's fantastic.
So it's really fun because it's really strategic, but creative, which is my title, creative strategist. So,
Well, there's a strategy to this, but I'm impressed that you do this. I didn't realize that you're going through 25, or let's say 22, right? So you have the 3 established house artists that are in house constantly, but 23 artists revolving each month is quite a job. That's a big endeavor, and to offer that, I think that's probably one of the. I don't know any place that does this each month.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry to cut you off. Is there anything like that besides the Emerging Gallery that houses and flips them every month?
I think not at the level we do.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's. Coffee shops and stuff like that flip out their artists, but they'll maybe feature 1 or 2 artists. And then you have bigger spaces that have showcases like every 3 months or something like that.
That's the typical.
Yeah.
That's why I'm impressed that I didn't realize
Well,
it
you
was.
flip out artists every month.
I do, but my space is, a little over 300 square feet. It's a little bit more intimate, so it's quite interesting.
Yeah, but you paint walls. You create a scene every single month.
I try my best, but the in terms of the hanging of works, it's such an intimate space that 1 or 2 pieces really sets the tone for the artist and what they do. So it's a bit more intimate and it's more personal with the artist to describe his work and show his extended works online, right? So that's the future for me, to just showcase many works and then extend it to the artist to show more outside of my shop and gallery. But again, the hanging of 25 artists, and square footage, by the way. I was curious. What
I have
do
no
you know the
idea.
square
I
footage?
don't know square feet.
Is it, was it,
It's
is
I'm
it,
like it's
is it half of this building, half of this?
it's like it's like this times
Is it
like
larger than this?
it's larger than this, maybe times 6.
That's quite a big, okay, good. Because I was like, it'll look like a street festival if you have everything in here. You won't know who's who. But so it is quite big. Okay.
It is quite big, yeah.
Everyone
Yeah, yeah.
has a separate wall. Do you give it limited
No,
wall
so
space?
you would see, you're gonna see about 7 different artists on each wall.
Okay, that's great.
So like I said, we really do. It is really a thought process of like, okay, here's our big showcase. Like, there's always an art piece that kind of stands out, whether it be in size, whether it be in subject matter or technique, or like big bright colors and they look really fucking cool, And so once we decide that, everything else, I like to call it families. So then I'm like, okay, this is a family of watercolors. This is a family of
nice. Yeah.
of portraits. This is a family of photographs. Okay, so these are our families.
You're
How do
curating it next to the same mediums.
or
to some
style
extent.
or
Right.
color scheme or all abstracts or things like that.
Got it. And I don't mean to keep asking, but how many pieces per artist do you allow, or is it just open to?
So the most we've had people submit, because they do pay for piece. So
Okay.
they do pay for wall space and they pay for all this work, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Because we also advertise for them. We also have this big party for them. And,
Right.
Open hours. They get to have their piece in a gallery for a whole month,
Right. Which I knew that, but more like, do you have a minimum? Like you
So
can't do more than 4
So
pieces.
the most people have been willing to pay for is up to 12 pieces.
Oh, that's great.
But generally, because of that, because it is a collective, I do want to eliminate the fact that somebody might have like a whole wall just to themselves.
Right.
So like this last time, we had a really great artist that submitted beautiful, and he is on the center wall.
Yeah.
But some of his styles were a little different. So I did separate 1 or 2 pieces.
Okay.
And put them somewhere else
Okay.
to fit a different color scheme, just
Okay.
so it wasn't like his show. You know what I mean?
Flushed out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it and because especially at that point, a lot of artists will incorporate different styles of their work.
Okay.
And that's sometimes when we'll separate work if it looks like a different style from the same artist.
Gotcha. Well, this is great for the person that doesn't know how emerging gallery works.
Yeah.
It's great. And I guess lastly, when sold, does the gallery take a percentage? Does it go solely to the artist
Solely
or
to
designer?
the artist. So the artist will take the full percentage of it. So the artist,
Fantastic. Okay.
we facilitate it. So we do create a uniform label, but then we do make it so that you as a buyer just contact the artist directly.
Oh, that's great.
Obviously you have to wait to the end of the month to take it home, but then the artist, it's their business, and they wrap it up, or they have somebody take it straight off the wall, or whatever they want to do. Go from there.
Well, that's a huge perk.
Yeah.
When the wall space is being, sublease, so to speak,
Sure,
right?
it's rented, yeah.
Yeah, but the payoff is, really push your work,
Yeah.
really blow it out, really showcase your work
Yeah.
properly, and target the proper group or people that would be
Yeah.
interested in your works. So that's a huge payoff to get your work shown. And there's a 12-piece minimum. Or I should say, sorry, extent of work that you can show. That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
That's a nice avenue to be down. I've never been offered anything like this in growing up, and I do some
Yeah.
art. I do a lot of graphic work.
Yeah.
And I've never heard or seen anything like this. So it's pretty unique.
I think this is a really good time to introduce ourselves.
I think so.
So, who are you?
Well, I'm Sonny Valenzuela. I have a gallery showroom in downtown Los Angeles at the Pacific Electric Loft building. And it's basically a showroom with clothing. I also host local artists, local in terms of, you're from Montana, you live here, you're local now.
Sure.
I show everyone, but really, really focusing on small works, like I said earlier, on 1 to 2 pieces in the show, per artist, maybe 3 to 4 max in-house. Sometimes only 3 artists, sometimes only 2, depending on the amount of work that I want to showcase. But it's a fun spot. It's also a creative space. I host DJs, local DJs in the space. The environment really lends a hand to downtown's. I guess it's I would compare it to, or it's been compared to, a New York stoop, where you have a patio to lounge and hang out and meet other creatives, and not necessarily be there. You don't have to be there to purchase anything. It's a place to just come and hang out. There's a patio set up every day, and it's been received quite well, and people just want to hang out and chill.
I love that. Like every single time I've ever come to it, like your Sunday sessions, or if I get a chance to escape and check out, there's just like such a really cool group of people, and they're all very friendly, and like you do such a good job. And I think just you being you, and like, you know, you could tell me a little bit about where your history is, but of introducing people to each other and like really making it feel like a home, you know.
That's I guess that was a key. And I didn't when I first opened the space. Prior to that, my history, just to go back to your first question, of me getting started in the business, I've worked in fashion for quite a while. So I design a collection, actually 2 collections currently, that are also housed in LA Syndicate. And I also carry maybe 2 to 3 other designers. So art, it's fashion, but my background, really, I have a strong background in fashion. I've worked with some pretty well-known houses. And even going back to high school, I worked, and I hate to say it, I feel like I worked at a sweatshop back in downtown LA when I was, younger.
Yeah.
I was like a production artist in a sweatshop. I all aspects of it, I've worked. But graphic designs are a big part of who I am, graphic designing. And, I appreciate so much technical work. That's why, there's so much to showcase. And it's never enough. Yeah. So, and like we spoke of earlier, there's a huge, larger event coming up in May, on May 4th. So we'll be focusing on that in a larger space, an extension of LA Syndicate in a larger gallery. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah. With your love and your help, and you guys are great. You promote really, really well, and you give a lot of love to the city. So it's really important you guys are here. Yeah. You've shown tons, and I'm always impressed in how much the Happening crew, the DTLA Artnight, comes together and promotes the local foundation of what we are and what we're doing in LA.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a love letter to the residents of downtown LA, of, the buildings, the culture, everything, of really being able to like provide these spaces and begin to actually celebrate what's down here,
Well, yeah. For obvious reasons, it hit a low, right? Sure. During shutdown, and unfortunately, it hit a low, and we're rebuilding it. So this is part of it, and it's gone through several Renaissance periods since I've been here. This is the 3rd one that I've been trying to be, I shouldn't say try, am part of, and helping to grow. So we need this, and this is so important to have this type of interaction with the locals and the artists, to let them know that there is an extension that is being offered to them. Even if it's in a 300 square foot little modular spot like my own, to, let's say, 6 times the size of this. You don't know the square footage, but
whatever this is times 6.
Whatever this is, 6 times. Well, listen, it's beautiful, but you don't need much space to showcase, and give love back to someone, to really represent them on a proper level. It only takes a little nook. So, That's how we're doing it. So
that's how we're doing. That's what this is, our love letter to arts in downtown LA, and
I love it. Yeah, this is great. This is a great collab.
Hello, I'm Diana. So I'll be your other co-host here during this adventure that we're taking. I think I just changed my title officially. Creative Strategy and Operations Manager for DTLA, Artnight and Happening. So basically, execute, facilitate, take the big ideas, and make them happen for all of these things, including this. My true passion is art. Really advocating for what I say sometimes underrepresented artists that maybe don't get the straight avenue that other people might have. So really holding space for artists like that. And, even from the beginning of our conversation, I view art in all forms,
Yeah.
whether it be spirits, music, obviously visual arts, performances. We've collaborated with a lot of different things. We just had what we called the Naked Show, but this great group of Aristocats who was doing like a cabaret style event, and that's artistic, obviously, the human body. And moved out to LA almost 3-4 years ago now, and just jumped into the art scene when I could, and
Nice.
just been going ever since.
I have a question. So this is prepping for the first show, obviously. Who do you have in mind? I know you had this great idea with the guest bartenders.
Sure.
Now you're connected to quite a few bars in Los Angeles, and
not to make it sound like I'm a drunk.
well, no.
No, I've just been in the business.
So, who are some of your, I guess, first guests that you want to line up for the first few shows?
Sure. So one of the things that we've been talking about, just to kind of recap, is obviously we'll have guests that are artists, businesses, but what we would really want to showcase too is our local businesses that, have a little space here. We have this great backdrop that's currently empty, but, have almost like a Watch What Happens Live moment, whether be a DJ or a guest bartender showcasing local businesses. So we have a really close relationship with the Mermaids. That's in Little Tokyo. They have it's a woman-owned tiki bar. Great vibes in there, great drinks. They always have a drink for a cause, supporting a local community nonprofit. Also great relationship with the Wolves, as you know, in our other podcast. But I work at a restaurant called Gorilla Tacos. So, support them.
By the way, I love Gorilla Tacos.
I mean, just local businesses, not only downtown. I think the downtown area is expansive. Obviously we have this historic core in the downtown, but Little Tokyo, there's some really cool spots at Echo Park. There's Chinatown has great bars.
Great bars, yeah.
There's a big gamut of things that I think that would be really fun for them to kind of showcase their arts and skills and.
Yeah. With Mermaids specifically, they have an interesting history. That bar, I think your friend purchased the bar how long ago? Maybe like 7 years ago.
I think so. I actually don't really know.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
I don't believe she's the original owner of Mermaids. So there was it was actually an old Japanese hostess bar.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, and it was still the same name.
Sure.
It was a crazy spot. My lawyer at the time is Japanese and he used to take me down there, and they'd serve food, but it was a little hostess bar. It was interesting. If you didn't know, you really couldn't tell what was going on. But,
Sure.
The girls would sit down with you and you'd buy bottles of,
Got it.
Table service, bottle service,
Yeah.
and hang out. But I've always loved that bar, going way back when it was a hostess bar. Mind you, I was just there for the food, but what a great little spot. And they actually are some of the few on the forefront of doing mock cocktails, correct?
Yeah, so they really help us with our mocktail program.
Yeah.
For Artnight. We really try to give back to the community bars. So we often we'll just serve mocktails in our bars, But
Which is great.
there's a big movement, I think, for mocktails now. Like, obviously, we've established I do enjoy a cocktail, but I think there's moments where you just want to chill and enjoy a refreshing drink and not completely, get drunk or whatever. And so there's really great mocktails nowadays, and it requires the same level of technique and skill and
Sure. I mean, it's a craft cocktail in any case. Just without the alcohol. And I know that if anyone knows, it's in Chinatown that just opened. It's called Stay, I believe.
Yes.
No, is it Stay?
It's called Stay.
It is Stay. It's a
It's
ritual.
either zero or Stay.
And it's zero proof. It's
Yeah.
the ritual label, I believe,
Yes.
that took that space over.
Yeah.
And it's solely mock cocktails. So if you're in Chinatown,
Yeah.
look into it. Stay. It's in the little Chinatown Square. I believe the jazz club's in that little area. Anyway, there's some great bars in there.
Yeah.
So definitely something to look into.
Yeah. There's a wide. The door's open for anybody that wants to participate with us, and enjoy.
We should grab Stay. We should grab them and have them come down and be a guest.
Yeah.
And
That'd be super fun.
Right?
Yeah.
That could be great. Do you drink malt cocktails or do you stick to the booze?
But I'm a strictly mock cocktail.
Oh, you
Great.
are. Oh, this is great.
I'm allergic to alcohol,
Wow. Okay.
I have heard of people having the allergy to the.
and it's tough to find a good mocktail.
Well, we'll have them here for you.
I think between the two of us, you're gonna have a proper mock
Yeah.
cocktail. But that's good to know. I think I'm allergic too, but I push through every time. I push through. I make sure I have.
You
a drink or two.
persevere.
I am. Listen.
Never give up, Sonny. That's what we call you.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. It's like Johnny Potatoes.
Johnny Potatoes. And it's
Potatoes.
just like you just keep going. That man.
He's great. What else? What else can we focus on? The artist, probably, as mentioned, Robert Vargas could potentially be our first true guest in-house, who's
Great.
working on a few murals currently in downtown, one in Little Tokyo, and the one that he's been working on for, I think, 3 years now is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's largest mural
Oh, really?
painted by one person. Without being, it's not paint by numbers, so to speak, right?
Sure.
So Robert Vargas, which we'll give some links and his bio, et cetera, later, but he has really made his name well known through his murals, and he travels around the world. He does some fantastic tours. He works closely with bands as well. So he tours and paints murals throughout the world. Really something else, and it's interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm so sorry to cut you. I think he's a really good tale of somebody who has quote unquote made it, but is also really tied to his community still, and really gives back.
100%.
And
right.
Is really present in where he came from.
100%. And he happens to be my neighbor as well, like 2 doors over, balconies over, I should say. So. Very close with Robert, and a big support of his. The city is his love, and he makes sure everyone knows that it is his love. As much as he travels, he lets you know this is it. As much as you can travel and move somewhere else, and maybe live in Tokyo, maybe have a house there, but
Sure.
this is where he calls home. So it's nice.
Yeah.
So that's one of the up and coming artists. For our podcast. Anyone specific?
Yeah, so we have the GABA Gallery that came from Echo Park that's opening up with us for Artnight. So we will probably have Jason on, who is running that.
Cool.
Really talk about the upcoming movement and his artists that he's going to have down there. Some big ideas we have to activate off of Broadway over there. And that's opening at the end of April.
So it's new. It's not even open yet.
It's not open yet. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Great.
It's like new. And it's going to be really cool because it's right by that Muni over there. Not Muni. Metro. Sorry, I'm from San
The
Francisco.
Metro. Yeah.
The Metro over there, and then I think between the two of us, we just have a really great world of artists out there. From again, performers, DJs. They'll
all be showcased here, right?
All of them. I have 25 artists a month that I can.
Insanity. That's again. That still blows my mind. That doesn't sound normal to me. Having that many artists every month, just having to have that and have to organize it. Is that normal to you?
Well, that's some work.
That's some work. That's my point. That's a lot of work. I'm impressed. So Diana, you're doing something that people normally don't take under their wing and carry it and do it so well with ease. It's a lot.
it's, my partner here's my bitching, but like, but I think it all comes again with the, really the intention that I have this space and let me fill it up with really cool art, and let me, not me, and I don't own the space, but you know what I mean? Like, as a team, we have the space, and
just
all
give
the
me
questions
a space.
all the questions that come with it, all the, the troubles, the annoying phone calls sometimes, but it's part of it. It's part of the journey, and I'm glad to be the person to like hold somebody's hand through it,
Right. It's interesting that once that month is up, it starts right away, and it's that's why I'm impressed, because I know on a smaller scale, Diana, I'm like, it's a lot. And
well, you have big projects coming too, so
big projects, for sure. But I'm really impressed when you stick to it, because there's a key. I think this way. My motto: you can easily get into this type of world, but can you stay with it? Can you stick with it?
Yeah.
And typically people don't stick with it. It has to be really from the heart. So that says a lot about you. And that's why it's important to spotlight that, because it really has to come from the heart. And you're not just doing it. You're not. It's not a playbook. It's coming truly from your heart. And you can't teach someone that. So it's impressive work that you do.
Well, thank you. It's
You're
impressive
welcome.
work that you do too.
Well, thanks, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, with that said,
We're impressive people.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna step away for a break. So we'll be back in 10.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.